Another tool that will help you stay organized and keep track of upcoming school events and important meetings is Outlook Calendar. Now, you can access Outlook Calendar in a couple of different ways. You could go to Outlook in Office 365 and then click on the calendar icon here at the bottom in the far left pane, and this will load your calendars. Or you can go to the waffle in Office 365, and it's probably in all apps. It's probably not pinned to your app launcher. So click on all apps and select calendar. Either way, calendar will open in Outlook on the web in Office 365. In addition to being able to add events to my calendar or important reminders, I can also use my calendar to schedule meetings with others. I can use calendar in Outlook to view not only my calendar, but I can also open up calendars of groups that I belong to, including my calendar for my staff room group. I can have multiple calendars open. I can even access calendars of those individuals who have shared a calendar with me, and I can share my calendar back with them in return. So for example, I could open up John Carasa's calendar because he has shared his calendar with me and I have shared my calendar with him. So he would be able to open and view my calendar as well. All right, let's turn off these other calendars. So I'm just going to come up here to the top, and underneath where it says August 2018, I'm going to hover over John's name and turn off his calendar, and hover over staff room demo and turn off that calendar. So now I'm only viewing my calendar. And I'm going to start by adding an event to my calendar for today. So I can get started adding an event in one of two ways. I can either double click on today's date, or once I've selected today's date, I can come up here to the toolbar and click New. Inside this window, I can then go ahead and add all of the details for my event. So let's schedule an event for today. We're going to add a title for the event, and we can add a location. Below location, I can adjust date and time. So for example, I could have this event start today, and let's set it for, 11:30. And I could have it end today, and let's say that it's going to be an hour-long appointment. So we'll have it end at 12:30. Now, I could always change the date for the end time if this was a multi-day event, and I could just select from the calendar a different day. But in this case, this particular meeting is just going to be today for an hour, so let's just switch that date back. Notice that I, instead of setting a specific time, could set this as an all-day reminder. I also have the ability to set this event or appointment as private. So that way it will still be listed on my calendar, but if others are viewing my calendar, it will just show private appointment. Before we go too much further, let me point out that right now to the far right, Outlook is showing me my schedule, and it's showing that I am available at the time that I set this appointment from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Let's go ahead and under people, add another individual. So I can simply just start typing in a name, and I can see Danny's availability. Right now it says that he is currently busy. However, it's showing that Danny would be available after 1:30. So in that case, I might wish to change my time for the appointment and select one of those time slots when Danny is actually available to meet. Notice that when I click on a time slot here in that schedule, it actually adjusts the time here for the start and end time of the event or appointment. All right, notice I can add multiple people. And as I add individuals, Microsoft Outlook Calendar is going to show me suggested times based on everyone's schedules or availability. All right, next, let's come back over to the left side. Notice that I can set this event to repeat. It's currently set to never. I could say every Friday we're going to meet at this time at this location. I can also choose which calendar I wish to save this event to. I'm going to put it to my calendar, and I'm going to go back to repeat, and I'm going to say never. I don't want this event to repeat. I want to have Outlook send me a reminder. So right now it's set to 15 minutes before the event is about to start. I will receive a notification, and my availability will be changed from free to busy, so that if others are trying to add me to events, it will actually show that I'm unavailable. In addition to the reminder in Outlook, I can also add an email reminder. And I can set this to come to me maybe an hour before I'm supposed to attend the event. I can send the reminder to myself or all attendees, and I can enter a message for the reminder. Let's just discard that reminder. And notice in the text box below, I can add details about this meeting. I can even add a link to maybe a site or a document that I want to share with everyone attending the meeting. I can also create an agenda by clicking Add Agenda, which allows me to basically create like a to-do list where I can enter items and then assign those items to the individuals attending the meeting. Okay, let's come back up here to the top toolbar, and when I am ready to send this out, I can just simply click Send. Notice that I can attach files or documents that I want to share with all attendees. I could even add a Skype meeting or a charm for this particular appointment that will show up in my calendar. One of my favorite options is I can also categorize this meeting. So notice that I use a variety of different categories to keep track of why I'm meeting with certain individuals or what an appointment is going to be about. So I could go ahead and set a category. Now, I am just going to remove these two attendees because I don't want to actually send this appointment to them. And I'm going to save it so that I can show you what this looks like in my calendar. All right, so it shows up here on the 17th of August, which is today. This event shows up in my calendar as purple because that's the category I chose. I can either single click on the event to see brief details about the meeting, or I can double click on the event to see all of those details again, as well as make any edits or changes that I need to make. Let's just close this. Notice that this meeting also appears in my schedule that shows up here to the far right of the calendar screen. Something to keep in mind is that I can add an event to my calendar or a meeting to my calendar, and I can categorize it after it's already been added. I can also change the color or the category of a meeting or appointment simply by single clicking on the appointment and then coming over to the schedule and right clicking on that appointment and categorize, and then go ahead and select a different category. Notice if I right click on that, a few other things I can do is I can add a charm. I can even change my availability, so I could show as still being available, even though I'm meeting with someone else. I could set it as busy, or I could set it as away. I could even forward the event to another individual without sharing my entire calendar. Speaking of sharing a calendar, it's really simple to share your calendar with others. Make sure your calendar is selected, and come up here to share. And then go ahead and type in the individual's name you wish to share your calendar to. Notice once you've selected the individual, you can then decide what they can view from your calendar. Can they view all the details? Can they edit your calendar? Can they view just titles and locations? Or can they just simply view when you're busy? Once you have selected that detail, you just simply click share. Now, I'm not actually going to share my calendar with Sean, so I'm just going to click remove and done. Finally, let's talk about creating events inside calendars that you are a part of, such as your staff room calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my staff room calendar. Notice that I can see two calendars. I'm inside both currently. I'm inside the staff room calendar and I'm still inside my calendar. The two have just been layered over top of each other. Now, just because I'm inside the staff room calendar, that does not mean that everyone belonging to the staff room site sees all of my events that are part of my calendar. I just see this dual view. I can always turn off my calendar if I just want to look at the staff room calendar. I can always turn off my calendar by hovering over calendar and clicking the X. And now I am inside the staff room calendar and all I'm seeing are events in the staff room calendar. To add an event to this calendar, I would just simply either double click on the day or click new. And again, I would go ahead and fill out all of those details. Notice where it says save to calendar, I would make sure that the staff room calendar is selected. And one more thing I'm going to show you. Because this is going onto the staff room calendar, you don't have to add other people because this will be shared with everyone who belongs to the staff room group. Now, one of the things that tends to annoy people about these shared calendars is that when an appointment or a meeting or an event is created in a shared calendar, such as the staff room calendar, every single person gets an email update about that event. To turn off that feature so that Outlook does not send a meeting invitation to everyone belonging to the group, just simply uncheck this checkbox before you click save. Outlook provides a great platform for organizing events, scheduling meetings, and even sharing calendars. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you become a little bit more comfortable and confident at using calendars in Outlook on the web.